I reflect a lot of the time, especially the first World Strongest Man. I think for me that was one of the most special ones because it was COVID. I didn't have my wife there. Or when Mum got diagnosed with cancer, that was pretty tough. That was I can't really describe it. Strength is just being able to turn up and get shit done. Yeah, it's pretty good when you do stuff. It's you go to bed at night and you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. I was pretty strong today. I didn't feel like doing that this morning, but I got up, went in the cold water, did my job, smashed work today, smashed my work.
We're here with the Stoltman Brothers, doing a fireside chat, getting to know them a little bit better, and then we're going to have a nice little dip after as well. So when you both started lifting, was the plan always to go strongman, or was it just fitness? Was it just mental health? What was the kind of main plan?
I started training when I was 16, and that was 24 years ago now, so quite a while ago. So we didn't have any social media or anything, so I didn't know what I was doing. I just went in because I wanted to have big arms and I wanted to have a six-pack. I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. I could rip it off in the pub, and in all seriousness, that's what it was. It was like vanity. But then when I started training harder and I got that boost and that confidence, it was like everything else. It was, yeah, I had big arms, yeah, I had a six-pack, I was strong, but then also there was more confidence in me. There was more, it was like that routine. I was always there. I used to go out quite a lot and drink quite a lot when I was younger, but I used to always make time for the gym. I'd never miss a gym session. Even if I was rough, I would go in and train, and that would make me feel better. So I didn't know about anything to do with the mental aspect of things back then, because I was 16, just a young boy, and then
And then that gradually started to come as you started to train more. You started to get more mental awareness and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was just that kind of. I just felt it because it was I couldn't not train. If I didn't train, I would feel really my confidence level would go down, my mood would go down, and I didn't really associate that with a mental health thing. It was just, this was my routine, and I was just this makes me feel really good. I want to train before I go out on a night out because it makes me feel buzzing. I don't even need to have a drink, I'm just buzzing because I just hit a nice bench press PB. And that was it for literally probably the first 10 years of my gym kind of stuff. And like Ewan said earlier, after 10 years, that's when strongman kind of just was there. It was oh, there's a competition, let's do that. Okay, why not? See if I can win. And then won it, and then met a friend, and then he's like, you should try strongman. I was like, hey, cool. And then it's so I don't know, I guess things happen for a reason. I think we have a plan, there is a plan, and it was just that path. When I went to the gym the first time, it gave me that confidence. I used to spend 3 or 4 hours a day in the gym because it just made me just this is class. Just whoa, yeah, triceps, biceps, chest, shoulders, oh, I'm starting at 20 kilos a side, and then you're up to 100 kilos on the bench. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm strong, yeah. And then you meet someone else who's stronger than you, and then you want to try and catch him, and then you're just doing that constantly. And I guess that's what strongman effectively is. It's trying to catch this guy who's the strongest man in the world. Yeah.
I mean, obviously mine's much different than that. I was diagnosed with autism as a young kid, and Luke had kind of paved that way of me to go into the gym. Yeah, I was never ever thought I'd get into the gym, never thought I'd be in the lifestyle I was. But like I said, being a footballer for me was my whole life since the day I was born, all the way up to 15, 16. I had ambitions of playing for Glasgow Rangers, playing for Scotland, and just having that vision of every single day. The reason I was put onto this earth was to play football. That's when I was on a football pitch, my autism disappeared. As soon as I went off that football pitch, I had the hood up, I couldn't talk to no one. So it's the same way I couldn't talk to my coach or that. So yeah, 16 years old, being this boy with autism, and kind of the gym for me was probably the biggest nightmare in the world. I mean, when your brother says, come to the gym with me and let's see if it'll make you happy, and he asked, my mum and dad made me happy as well, my whole family. I was like, it's got mirrors, it's got big guys, it's got girls, it's got everything that makes an autistic person very uncomfortable. But anyway, at 16 years old, I just went into it. I had nothing to lose. My life wasn't the best anyway, and I obviously had a great family, great support system, but I had nothing to lose in my life, so I was just like, let's just do it. And yeah, Luke had pathed that way anyway. I kind of rided the way for the first year in the gym. I kept having my hood up. The only person I would talk to in the gym was Luke. The only person I would train with was Luke. I hated the mirrors in it. I had my hood up. I hated you know, knowing at the left there was girls benching 50, 60 kilograms, and here's me benching 15, 20 kilograms. I was literally like the Scottish Peter Crouch, but like way skinnier than that. And that was, you know, body count, but it wasn't for me the body, it was more just to be a live a normal life. Obviously, like, you know, you get labelled, you get called disabled and all this kind of stuff. And for me, I was just wanting to do something and not quit, because I quit every single thing I did in my life. But for some reason, it was a person on my shoulder that just said, don't quit, just, you know, make Luke happy, this will make you happy, and it will make your family happy. And for me, family was my biggest thing. My mum, my dad were the two biggest supporters in my life. So they guided me on my football journey, and they said, you know, go to the gym and let's see what happens. So yeah, first year, you know, I'm not gonna lie, first year was probably the worst year of my life, and I just didn't really like it. But I just kept going. I was just resilient. I had Luke as a support person. Then 17, 18 years old, I started going to shows to watch Luke and watch. Like, there's a difference between going to the gym and then watching your brother compete at a strongman competition. You're like, this is unbelievable. You know, watching like the Marius Puskanovskis on TV, then to watch your brother at Scotland Straw as man into Highlands, like lifting cars, lifting logs. You're like, this is something I could do. This is like, you know, Batman and Superman, like kids smashing up the cars. This is, for me, that's what I thought it was. It's like my brother's basically the Batman and the Hulk. Let's in the real life phone. Let's you know, do. And I was thinking like the Hulk smash and all that. It would just look like a big cartoon to me. And I was like, this is fun. This is my kind of life. That's how my head kind of thought. And I said to Luke, I want to try this sport out. And you know, I went to a strongman gym and started just growing as a person. I started talking to people. Again, the weights and everything, I didn't care about getting strong really. It was just about living that life that I could talk to people, I could open up. Luke went offshore, I started training with other people. I started making friends. I started just doing a lot of things that I couldn't learn academically and couldn't learn in a job. And yeah, like I said, and then gradually I got stronger and stronger and stronger. When Luke went away, he'd come back, see the progress I was making. I was putting a smile on my face. I was puffing my chest out more. I had the hood down. So I lost like all that supportive blanket I had at the start. I started training like t-shirts, vests. My mum would be phoning Luke like, oh, Tom's just hit this, Tom's did that. And the smile and the energy they had, and it gave them, like, to me, wake up every single day and to know that I was doing something that I loved, meant more than them, meant everything to them than me having a job or me, you know, doing other things. It was just, Tom's going to the gym, Tom's living his dream now, and he's enjoying every single minute. And then I think I was 19 years old, I started competing properly with Luke at Scotland Strongest Man, the Highland Strongest Man. One of my first comps was helping Luke. I came 5th place in Scotland, and it helped him win Scotland Strongest Man. And from that moment I was like, you know, to watch Luke win Scotland Strongest Man, but from also me to be able to play an impact in that and to actually be able to compete against these guys that don't have autism, to be able to actually, you know, talk on mics, to be able to just perform in front of a crowd was unbelievable for myself. And then that's when I thought, right, this is a sport for me, and just kept on going, just kept on learning, just kept on jumping over hurdles, and just said, you know, it's, if I quit, I'm going to let myself down, and I'm going to let my family down, but more importantly, I'm going to let myself down. You know, I know that I'm capable of achieving big things in the sport, so just keep riding the wave and just keep learning. But yeah, like I said, strongman for me was just, I find that Luke opened the door for, and it was me. I had a path there, and I just had to keep running down that path, and thankfully I did, because at the start I just used it to get mentally focused, to do, like, just to talk to people, to be, I learned maths in the gym. I learned, I had the worst grades in school. I was dropped out of school, and I learned how to do percentages in the gym. I learned all this kind of stuff that I didn't learn in school, and it was an unbelievable. So yeah, the gym, when I say the gym's like saved my life, it's 100% saved my life. So
Amazing. So going back to, like, so you taking your little brother under your wing, how was that for you as a kind of a pressure, knowing that your little brother's kind of almost relying on you, kind of saved his life? How was that for you, kind of growing up?
I wouldn't say there was a pressure. I think it was just a natural progression as an older brother. You know, I'm 10 years older than Tom, so and being like the oldest of 5 siblings, you know, you just get, that's the way things are. You know, you're kind of, our dad worked away quite a lot of the time, and he was in the oil rigs, and you know, he was probably the hardest worker I've ever known, and you know, he worked so much to provide, and then it was my job to kind of step up, maybe back home, and you know, not look after Tom, but just say, look, mate, this has done a lot for me. Do you want to come along and try? It was just, it wasn't like too much of a serious conversation. It was just, because that doesn't work with Tom. Like when he was younger, it wasn't. Like if you make it too serious, it needs to be fun. It's like, you know, I'm having fun and doing strongman, I'm lifting cars, lifting logs. Come on, like, you're a big fucker, Tom. Come on, try it with me, mate. Why don't you try it? And like constantly praising, you know, it's like, you've got to, you can't just have that confidence. And when Tom was younger, he maybe didn't have that confidence, but the way like you praise someone, you say, Tom, you're going to be the next big thing. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. You've got all the raw potential to do this. It's like that nurture. You got to nurture him so much, and then all of a sudden, like within a year, Tom said, it's like really tough that year, but within a year he was deadlifting 300 kilos. He was going in like the strongest guy in the gym. I'm like, Jesus, this guy's mental, man. He's deadlifting 300 kilos. It took me about 10 years to do that. He's done it in this is insane, Tom, you're so strong. And then when I was competing, it was like, you think I'm strong, I'm doing well, but wait till you see Tom coming, man. He's going to destroy everyone. He's going to be the GOAT. He's going to be the best ever. And once you start speaking that, you manifest that. And like, no matter if Tom didn't believe it or not, it starts with that little bit of like words. You have to voice it. You have to put it out there. And that was seeping into Tom, I think, from an early age. And it was just sheer pride I saw every time when Tom hit that 300 kilo deadlift. I was like, holy, gee, this is mad. And then 180 kilo bench press. I remember him doing that. I was like, oh, geez, this is a nightmare. He's going to overtake me in no time. And, it was, I remember, I think it was 2019 or 18, I think he won Scotland's Strongest Man. 2018. Like, it was just a matter of time for him to win it. Do you know what I mean? It was like, this is like Tom's coming of age, coming of strength. It's everything that he's doing is working, and everything that I've been doing is working as well, because, again, Tom's success is my success, and my success is Tom's. So we get to share that. We get to do that together. So there was no pressure. It was just, like, it's mad that this is life. Like, I can't quite grasp how Tom and I are, like, sitting here. We've done Strongman, and it's all started in a little town in Invergordon in a Highland Council gym, and then they stopped us deadlifting because it was on the first floor because we were deadlifting too much, so you couldn't deadlift. So then we had to go into our dad's shed, the gardener's cottage, and it was an old shed, and then it was like an old concrete floor, so we were deadlifting there, and then the concrete all kind of broke down, so then we had to go outside in the tar. You got this road tarred, and then we're deadlifting there, and then there's like little sinkholes in it now so he's still annoyed at that. I think he's still wanting a new bit of tar for his road, but it's just the journey, like it's not been easy, and it's not like a given. Like, no, you can't just start doing strongman. It's not just a thing. You have to just do the journey, just go through the process, and like that journey with Tom has been nothing but absolutely insane. Like all the emotions you could ever imagine, but like the biggest one for me is just absolute pride for what we've done and what Tom's done and how far he's come on.
And you both kind of take time and reflect on the journey and realise how far you've come and, again, how far there is to go. So
I think it's just started, really, the journey, isn't it? There's still so much to do, but it's nice watching old videos back, isn't it? Like seeing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm human, so I think. Like, I reflect a lot of the time, especially the first World Strongest Man. I think for me that was one of the most special ones because it was COVID. I didn't have like my wife there, so I didn't have the normal people that was there, but I had Luke, and that moment of me beating like probably the favourite there, 4-time World Strongest Man, Brian Shaw. I was just this like wee kid, and I was like, crap, like I'm stunning this against him, and in my mind I was like, I'm going to lose, but then like Luke comes storming through the door. He's got the tattoo, and I always kind of revisit that. Even my trophies, I've got them spread out between like my dad's house, the office, my house, because every single place I want to go, I just like to have that wee remembrance that all this hard work pays for this, but there's still a lot to come as well, and there is still a lot more to come. And for me to be named as like one of the greatest, I have to start. I have to win more worlds, I have to win other competitions as well. But yeah, it's nice to sit down sometimes at night time and the wife and just kind of talk and say like from this wee boy in Invergordon at 9-10 years old to 30-year-old and one of the best strongmen in the world. It's a nice feeling to know that all this hard work, dedication and sacrifice is worth it, and the sacrifice I've had to make for like the wife, the family as well, all that time that I should be spending with them, it's worth it because I've been able to achieve what I have done as well, and vice versa with Luke as well. So, and getting to spend time with Luke and travel the world, that's the biggest perk of the job.
So as you mentioned forward that you've got a lot more competitions coming up. What does the kind of future hold? Like, what's the next big thing for you guys?
Like, we've got a few competitions this year, but I think like the Rogue Invitational is the biggest one. That's in Aberdeen. It's going to be in Scotland for the first time. Normally it's in Austin, Texas. So it's so cool being able to do that and coming to Scotland. Both Tom and myself are competing there. It's a massive competition. like CrossFit, all the CrossFitters are there as well. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess just keep training. I mean, that's just ingrained in us now. It's training and competing. That's life. That's how we do stuff, and I can't wait. I mean, I talked about retirement and stuff, but I just I enjoy it too much. You know, it's like I'm 40 in November, and I feel like I've got so much more life in me yet. You know, which is amazing, and I can't wait. I mean, I want to see Tom win 6 titles, 6 World's Strongest Man titles. So it'd be nice if we could do that in the next 3 years. But yeah, just competing and just like it's just I think that's what we do. It's I worry sometimes. You know, it's like what would I do without competitions and stuff, because you get such a buzz from it. You know, and I think that's where like the business stuff comes in. That's where the clothing, the merchandise, the YouTube, the movies, the social media, doing cold water, doing this type of stuff really kind of takes over, and I get such a buzz from doing this as well. So yeah, there's a lot kind of stuff to do.
So like before competitions, you usually do like a group dip. So talk us through like why you choose to do community dips. Why is it a group dip? When did that start? Why did it start?
Yeah, so it started this year at Britain's Strongest Man. I want to be consistent in what I do, you know. So like when I train, I always do a cold water swim in the morning. Like I go in, I immerse myself in the cold. We've got the brass monkey tub in the garage now, which is fantastic. So I was like, why am I not going for a swim before I go and compete? That's stupid. Like, this gives me the most energy. I come back, I'm buzzing, my titties off. And like, it just makes me so happy and full of energy. So I feel like I've got that one. So when I did it in Sheffield, we did it with a group called the Sheffield Dippers at Britain's Strongest Man, and it was freezing. It was in January, end of January, I think it was. It was in this free-flowing river and this little pool. It was beautiful, and like there was a wee bit you could jump off. So I was like, I'll just jump off, you know, stuff it. Forgetting I'm competing later on, so if I jump off and sprain my ankle, I'd be like, you stupid idiot. But jump into it with all the guys, and the energy that you generate with people, just like people going in the water, sharing a common goal to be happy and to have joy and everything else. It's so powerful. So I went back to the hotel after that swim. I was like, oh boys, I'm buzzing. Like everyone's just waking up, and I feel like I've had about 20 coffees already in me, and it was just such a nice moment. And then we cut to Europe's Strongest Man in Leeds. I was like, I've got to do the same again because it worked really well. Made podium at Britain's Strongest Man, where people were counting me out. They weren't putting me in the top 5. I was like, oh, fuck yous. I'll show you, you daft so-and-so. I'm swearing and then pretending I'm not swearing, sorry. So I was like, I may as well do it at Leeds. So we went to Leeds, and before I went for the swim, Tom surprised me, came down. Tom came down the stairs, out the elevator, sorry, and I was like, who is this massive guy? I was like, I hope he's not competing in Europe, because he is massive. And then he came out, he was like, hey, surprise.
But I didn't go to the dip, I went back to bed.
Oh, but it was like, and if I didn't go for that cold water swim, I wouldn't have seen Tom at that moment, you know, just before I was like, oh, this is mental. My baby brother's come down to surprise me, drove through the night. I'm about to go for a swim. I'm about to win Europe's Strongest Man for the second time. What more could I want in life? And, you know, went there, Tom was by my side, had so much energy from the swim. And like, it was just amazing, man. It was like so emotional. And yeah, so that's why I do it, because it's part of my life, it's part of who I am, it's part of my joy, you know. And why would I take that away before I compete? Because I want to be as joyful and happy as I can.
Digging into the community aspect of those dips, so like the people that dip with you, what do you kind of notice about them, or what kind of energy do you get from that?
Afterwards, it's just buzzing. Everyone's just so happy. You know, we've all got our issues. We all have struggles in life, and sometimes before, you know, that kind of shows it. You know, everyone's a bit more quiet. It's like today, you know, we don't know many. We don't know anyone. You know, but then when you go in together, you're like sharing a bond. Oh, that was class. That was amazing, man. Oh, that was cool. Fucking hell, I can't feel my hands, man. And then you're hugging after, you're fist pumping, and like that's what it does. It's like that. Like it's that power that like it's nothing. Like it's just cold. But it brings people together because you're doing something that's really pretty tough to like get this thing to say, right, I'm going to jump in this river. That's like 0 degrees. It's -5 outside. I'm going to go in. So to do that, you get that little boost, and doing it with people, it's like, oh, you just did that, well done, mate. You just did that, well done. We've got like young kids coming along doing it with us, and it's like that's what the community needs. That's the revolution, man. That's what we're doing, isn't it? It's like showing that being out here in nature, fire, water, people, we've all got that connection. We've all got ability to love and care for each other, and that's where it comes in with the community. But don't get me wrong, I still like to do it by myself, because sometimes it's a bit full on all the time doing it, you know, especially if you're going through stuff and you need to kind of just calm down. But like now I'm buzzing because we've got a few people coming, and yeah, it's cool. It's just that energy, I think, from people.
And how did you both discover the cold? What was your like earliest memory of using cold water?
Having been from Scotland, I think it's since I've been born. Performance-wise for myself was probably 20. Yeah, when we started getting better at World Straws, man. I think someone just kind of said to me, like, cold water is something that will help you recover. And for me with autism and stuff, I said if someone says it works and I feel it works, I get addicted to it. So yeah, I kind of, obviously the sea, I went onto the sea. I did a gym session, went to the sea, had an amazing night's sleep. The next day I was like, DOMs have reduced 50%. This is unbelievable, it's free. It's 10 minutes of my time. And yeah, since then, and then that's, you know, since I started cold water, I think the same with Luke, it's, you know, been 3-time World Straws, man, and not been off second place at World since I've started the cold. So it proves that it works. It's free as well, and it's also, you can have fun in the cold water as well. Like when I used to go with Luke all the time, and it just brings back memories when you're a kid. You know, you go to the beach when you're a kid, and I think 90% of people in the UK have done cold water. It's just they've done it with a kid, and then this is exact same when you're growing up. But that's how I used it 2019, and then started seeing about the contrast as well, the hot and cold, which even for me it was more powerful for the recovery side of things, and that's what I use it for. Like last thing at night, really helps with sleep, really helps just shut me down, and it's one of the best recovery tools you can get, and also it's free, so it's a no-brainer if you're wanting to like take your sport or take what you're doing to the next level. 100%.
I mean, I remember being young and going to the beach. Like that was my kind of thing, you know, with mum. So like we didn't have like when I was like a young boy, like kind of 5-6 years old, there wasn't like a huge amount of money to go out to like Tenerife or, you know, those type of holidays. So we generally went to the beaches around us. So we used to go to Nig Beach and used to go out there and like be out there for hours, man. Like, and then I remember just looking down at my feet. I said earlier on, and my feet were just blue. I was with my cousin and my mum and her sister, Auntie Liz. They were on the beach just sunbathing, and it wasn't that warm. It was so much. You had an inflatable lilo and just buzzing around and that, and so that was my kind of first memory of it. And when Tom and I started doing it, we used to train and then go into like walks like this out here, and I just remember having like so much fun with him. Like, it was just, he'd go on my shoulders, I'd try and go on Tom's shoulders, he would be kind of mess up sometimes with it, whatever. And it was just good fun, and we always came away smiling. I was like, geez, well, that's weird. Like, why am I so happy and smiley after, like, because it's just fun. It just brings you back to that childhood like state, which is really nice. And like the more I can be a kid and have fun, like the better I feel, the better I can train, the better I am at home, the better I'm with Tom, with people I work with. And it just started to like, oh geez, this might be something here. And was watching like a bit of Wim Hof and that, and Wim's just mad. Like he's just a big child, so I'm like, he's got it pretty sussed. He's doing okay, and all he does is go in the cold water and do a bit of breath work. Seems a bit weird that he doesn't drink alcohol or do any drugs or party or. All right, okay, might be something to it. And then learnt more about his story and the kind of the tragedy that, you know, unfolded in his life, and I thought, oh, may as well try it. And then I was like, geez, every morning when I do it now, you get to see a sunrise sometimes if we have a bit of sun in Scotland, and you know, that's kind of mum speaking, you know, her spirit, her energy, her whatever it is, like. That's what I see. That's what like mum was to us. She was our sunshine. So like that's whenever I see a sunrise, I'm like, oh man, hi mum, how's it going? Have a wee cry or whatever in the water, and that's what it does, I think. So yeah, it takes me back to just being a little kid, just with those blue feet, just freezing my feet off.
You're very open about mental health and your feelings. When did you kind of learn to be more open about that, or to discuss it more, and kind of become that more vulnerable person?
I don't know, because I struggled quite a lot when I was younger about opening up, and I was like issues when I was young, like when 15, 16, I used to get a little bit angry and like kick the wall and like punch holes, and like do stupid things, and you know. And then I started working off on the oil rigs, and it was like, you're not really supposed to. I didn't think I was supposed to show like feelings, you know, being like, it's quite masculine being offshore, and you just get on with it, just right, do 3 weeks, home for a few days, and go away again. Keep doing that, and make the money. But then I was like drinking every time I came home. I was like, this isn't really that good. And then it was probably like the kind of final nail in the coffin. Like I've struggled with different things, but like different addictions and stuff, whatever. But like when Mum passed, like, or when Mum got diagnosed with cancer, that was pretty tough. Like that was like the fuck. Like I can't really describe it. I was like, just because Mum used to always say that I wasn't very open, and just be open and just talk about it. If you've got an issue, just talk about it. So, like when Mum got diagnosed with cancer, initially it was like 6 months to live she got, so I didn't think we had much time with her. Fortunately, we got 3 years, which was amazing. So like I thought, well, Mum's not going to be here much, you know, in the physical sense, and I may as well try and be a bit more open and try and show her that I am able to be okay and stuff. So I guess that was it. I don't know. I just find talking for me helps, because I talk a lot sometimes. When I get passionate about things, I just get on a wee rambling thing, and I think that's the beauty of the cold, because sometimes in the cold it just shuts you up, and then it just lets in things that mean something, and like I'll make you like. It's like when we did the breath work. It's like, guys were taking. It's like, if you've got any more questions in a couple of days, because it might creep into your head. That's what the cold does as well for me. It's like, oh, maybe that question means something. Just store it there and then come back to it, and yeah, it just allows you to be a bit more open. And it's still working on it. Still work to do. Still a lot of work to do in my head, but we're getting there.
And what do you think the effects are of not being open about feelings? Obviously, a lot of men struggle with talking about their feelings and talking and opening up. Yeah. What do you think the effects are of that?
See, I'm in two minds with that one at the moment, because the message that we've heard for the last few years is be open. Men need to speak more. Men need to do this. Women are so much better at speaking. Women are so much better at being open. And I think it's so much on the individual and how that works for someone, because for me personally, it's good to open up and talk about stuff, but for other men, it's not. And that's okay. It's okay not to open up, but it's not okay to just suffer. Like, find something that takes away that thing. So if you're like suffering in silence and you're not doing anything, it's like maybe it is to be open, or maybe it's to do something physical. Like, that's what I truly believe as men, like, we should be feeling physical, like doing something physical. Like, that's what we need, is like doing something physical, or going out for a walk, being in nature, doing something. Like, go out in nature and speak to yourself when you're on a walk. You can be open to yourself. You know, no one says be open to yourself. Yeah, you got to deal with that first. There's no point just like blurting out shit when you haven't thought about it. Sorry, there is, but if you're not that type of person, it might not work, and it might just push you over the edge. So I think we get quite a lot of, not bad press, but it's like men are this, men are that, open up, blah, blah, blah. It's like, fuck me, I don't want to open up. I just want to go and work out in the gym, because that makes me feel really, really good. Or go for a run, or go for a cycle, or do this stuff. And, you know, I got caught up in it. I was like, yeah, we all need to open up. We're rubbish at opening up. But men need to feel safe as well. Like I need to feel safe. I'm just that little boy in that beach again, you know, with the blue feet, that wanting to go to my mum and speak to her. Like, I want to be that boy and feel safe with my mum, but I don't feel safe because mum's not here. So, like, you know, I try and feel safe by opening up certain times, but sometimes you say the wrong thing, and sometimes it's not the right thing, and then people, oh, you can't say that, whatever, you know. So, but like, I go back to that little kid when I felt safe, and that's when I was happy. So it's difficult for some of us to open up fully. So it's okay. Like, that's the message that we've got to get across to the guys. It's like, guys, if you're feeling sad and you can't open up, it's okay, but don't do anything stupid. Don't go and take your own life because it's special. Like, let's do something else. Let's go for a run. Let's go to the gym. Like, what can you bench press? 100 kilos. Oh, brilliant, mate. That's mad. 200 kilos. Massive. Let's see if we can get 110 kilos, whatever it is. Like, let's try and progress. Let's try and get some self-worth, some self-belief, some power back. That's what I think. But I don't know. I'm not a scientist or a professor or a mental health expert. I just go from how I feel as a person. And that's my story. That's my story that I'm writing for myself, I think. It's changed over the years. I couldn't open up when I was in my 20s. I used to drink all the time. I used to work all the time. I used to do whatever else it was, and that wasn't good for me. But now I can open up and sat here wearing a poncho, sitting next to my brother about to go for a swim, sweating, because that's what I do. I sweat a lot when I talk and get nervous and anxious. But that's okay. You know, that's what we do. It's just life. So we just roll with it. For me, personally, I don't know. That's just my little 10 cents in the story.
Final question to both of you is, what does the word strength mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, strength, for me, it's more than just going to the gym and being that strong man in the gym. For me, you know, I've got a family, I've got a support system, and I've got a wife that I have to support, I have to, you know, keep safe, and I think I'm responsible for doing that. And I think, you know, we've got a community as well, and that for me is much more powerful, and that's what strength is to myself. You know, I look back when I was a kid, and it was my mum and dad, my family, that had the strength, that looked after me, and they were really the real strong people. So now I flip that now, and I have to take care of my wife. I have to, you know, make sure if Luke's got a problem, I need to make sure that I'm strong enough to be able to be by his side. You know, if you and if our work people have got a problem, that's proper strength. And you know, I used to always just think it was just going to the gym and lift weights, but when you open up your eyes a wee bit and go, that is what strength is to me. You know, just being that strong, you know, a strong person that you can have a shoulder to cry on if they need it. If you can, you know, if your wife's got problems, if your family's got problems, you're a person they can come to, and you can be that strong person and just try and guide them in the right direction as well. So.
For me, it's been able to like function like when I don't want to function. You know what I mean? When you don't feel like doing it, when you don't feel like going into work, you don't feel like training. It's like doing the things that allow you to function on a daily basis. You know, it's not all rose tinted. You're not seeing life through rose tinted glasses. It's like, as a man, as a father, a husband, a son, brother, business owner, whatever, like we have responsibilities. And for me, as a man, as me, I need to be able to just function and do those things on a daily basis. And like, I just take one day at a time. Like today, I'll go home tonight and be like, speak to my wife. Like that was a class day today. Like after this, I've got a call with the men's group. I do like this men's group. There's 5 of us. We chat every Wednesday just about our things, and so that's really powerful. So like, I get to do that after this, tell them about today, which is amazing. But like, strength is just being able to turn up and get shit done. Like on a very basic level. I don't think if we could all do that, and then it's pretty good when you do stuff. It's like you go to bed at night and you're like, that's pretty cool. I was pretty strong today. I didn't feel like doing that this morning, but you know, I got up, went in the cold water, did my job, smashed work today, smashed my workout, ate really good, in bed, let's see what tomorrow has. And then you do the same again. And I think that's pretty it. And if I can help support Tom like he supports me recently, I think that's pretty cool. So, yeah, it's not just being a big ogre and lifting weights. Although it helps.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for your time. Brilliant.